This is Tom Kozlik from HilltopSecurities with a legislative, economic, and municipal market update. This week saw Republicans hold their national convention in Charlotte. We are now 66 days away from the November 3rd, 2020 presidential election, and no meaningful progress was made by D.C. lawmakers this week on a fifth phase of COVID-19 relief. In fact, after the White House reached out to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Speaker Pelosi noted that the Democrats would be willing to drop their ask to $2.2 trillion. And then the Speaker released a statement saying, among other things, Democrats are willing to resume negotiations once Republicans start to take the process seriously, that lives, livelihoods, and the life of our democracy are at stake. So, the message from D.C. once again is that no ground has been made on negotiations. On the economic side this week, some positive business-related numbers were released. The question for near-term business investment will be whether continued progress can be made without additional massive federal government support. The Conference Board's measure of consumer confidence dropped to a 6-year low in August. The 84.8 overall reading is a new low for the pandemic period and is well below the 93 median forecast. Initial jobless claims came in yesterday at another 1 million. This is still a staggeringly high number, and Labor Department data put the total number of people drawing unemployment benefits at 27 million. The Federal Reserve announced a shift in its inflation policy this week. The Fed will allow inflation to move moderately above its 2% target for, quote-unquote, some time. Historically, the Fed has raised rates when core inflation threatened to rise above its 2% target. On the municipal side this week, we want to highlight the airport sector. The response to the COVID-19 pandemic has significantly hit airline travel to the downside, as many know. Passenger employment data is still running significantly under where it was pre-COVID. Bureau of Transportation statistics show monthly activity plummeted in April to only 3 million monthly passenger employments. Activity has ticked up since then, but we are still seeing that passenger employments overall are only running maybe 70 to 80% of the pre-COVID levels. A positive observation where airports are concerned has to do with air cargo volumes, at least for now. Air cargo volume has not yet fallen to the extent that passenger activity has, relatively speaking. Fitch Ratings notes that, quote, air cargo volumes have been more resilient to coronavirus pandemic-related effects than passenger traffic activity. But the overall effect on stabilizing airport revenues is mostly limited to only the largest cargo hubs, given smaller cargo revenue contributions at the majority of U.S. airports. We include here Fitch's data showing that cargo volumes have performed better than passenger volumes at the 10 largest cargo airports by volume. A key takeaway is that even though cargo volumes have not declined as much as passenger volumes to date, cargo activity could still soften if economic growth consistently declines from here. And this is a point that Fitch makes. That concludes our insights for this week. Please take a look at our regular printed economic and municipal market commentary. Thanks very much for watching. See you next week. This was Tom Kozlik from HilltopSecurities.